cast kits for her. Let me bring us in here. There we go, that's not too bad. All right, so I'm going to use V17, V15, and V12. Once again, V17 is a super dark color. I'm going to go in here and give a little bit of a shadowing around the arm. And if I were to do this in my own studio by myself without teaching, I would have colored this arm last. I always color my skin tone last. I think some of the blue violets and the violets blend so nicely together. They're almost effortless, where some of the other colors it's a little bit more difficult. Okay, and I'll show you. I don't know if I showed you the colors. I got so excited. V17, V15, and V12. And these are all out of past kits. Great colors. So if you get this willow, you might want to color this color too. I don't know. This is the exact color my daughter's graduation dress was. And I'm making this little card for her. Going back in, and this is going to be darker here because the arm is shading the clothing, and then this ruffle is shading the clothing. And you'll start to get a hang for where your light and dark go. It's really just a lot of practice. And don't be afraid to take a chance and mess up. Messing up happens to me. That's why I print more than one image. I stamp more than one image, because invariably, you know, sometimes the first one comes perfect, but not always. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or a dozen times before I get the image exactly the way I like it, with exact shading I like it. Sometimes you can goof up your color based upon light source. You know, maybe I have a light source coming from one direction, then I goof it up and put in another direction in the same image. That's an easy thing to do, especially when you're first starting out, and even now I do it. And I'm going to go ahead and go over these little gems that are hanging from there, just because, first of all, they're way too small for me to think about spending time going around. The other thing is that I am going to probably go over them with a Stickles or a Clear Snap Smooch or something to make it more metallic-y. And anything that has a pleating is going to be darker. And my favorite thing about these markers is watching your image come to life. You know, black and white image is super cute, don't get me wrong, I do love them. But once you make it come to life, and once you put the colors on it, it's just so, to me, amazing. It's like magic. It's the promise. The black and white image is a promise of something great that you can make happen. I mean, how many times have you been to a store and you thought, ugh, I would love that, but it's just not my color, it's not my favorite colors, and I wish I could customize it to be something I liked. That's the beauty of these markers and with these images, is that you can customize things to be exactly the way you like, anytime you like them. I love that. I think that's the fun part about stamping. You know, I can use my favorite colors and you can use yours, and we can make the same image look so remarkably different, almost like they're not even the same image. The other thing is that when you're coloring from light to dark, you don't have the opportunity to go back in with the shading again. But when you're coloring from dark to light, I can go back in and say, ooh, I need a little bit more dark right there, and go back and fix that, 'cause I know where I need my dark color. I like that. One of those things that makes sense to me. Okay, here's little Willow dressed up, and she is adorable. I hope that you enjoy the tutorials for this month, and hopefully you'll have a lot more new surprises from me next month. And I'm telling you, the colors next month are fantastic too. I'm going to pan out on Willow so you can see her. I think she's turning out rather nicely. Thank you again. We talked about how to color hair color, a basic. We'll go get into more depth in later lessons of how to color blondes and brunettes. Thank you. See you next month.